Yo, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's marriage might be in serious trouble. And the name that keeps coming up? Brandy. I'm not even playing right now. The internet is absolutely spiraling over blind items, leaked allegations, and some wild claims that have folks questioning everything they thought they knew about Queen Bee's picture-perfect life. Because here's what people are saying. Jay-Z allegedly had something going on with Brandy behind Beyoncé's back. And according to these rumors, Beyoncé just recently found out. But wait, it gets even more insane. There are also allegations floating around that Beyoncé herself has been living with her bodyguard, Julius. Like, living with him. The whole situation has the internet doing backflips, trying to figure out what's real, what's fake, and what's been hiding in plain sight this entire time. All right, so everybody thought they knew the Carters, right? Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Power couple, billionaires, music royalty. Lemonade came out, we all thought they worked through the infidelity, and they moved on stronger than ever. That was the story. That's what we all believed. But now? A blind item just surfaced that's got the entire internet twisting the narrative completely. And once you hear the details, you're gonna understand why people are losing their minds. See, this blind item didn't name names directly, but the clues? They were crystal clear. We're talking about a one-named A-list singer who discovered her husband was allegedly hooking up with another one-named artist who just so happens to have a brother known for adult films. Think about it. One named A-list singer, that's Beyoncé. Husband, Jay-Z. One named artist with an adult film star brother. That's Brandy and Ray J. And just like that, everything people thought they understood about this situation just got flipped completely upside down. Now, let me break down exactly why the internet is convinced this blind item is about them specifically. Because this isn't just wild speculation. People online have been doing some serious detective work, and the pieces are lining up in a way that's honestly kind of scary. First off, the blind item mentions a one-named A-list singer. In the music industry right now, who fits that description perfectly? Beyoncé. There aren't many artists who go by just one name and have that level of global recognition. Beyoncé is literally one of the biggest stars on the planet. Second clue, the husband. The blind item says this A-lister found out her husband was cheating. Beyoncé is married to Jay-Z, and let's keep it real, Jay-Z has publicly acknowledged infidelity before. He literally rapped about it on 444. So that part, not even shocking anymore. We know Jay-Z has stepped out before. But here's where it gets specific. The blind item says the husband was allegedly hooking up with another one-named artist who has a brother that's known in the adult film industry. Brandy. Ray J. Come on now, that's too specific to be a coincidence. Brandy's been in the industry for decades. One name, iconic. And her brother, Ray J? We all know what he's famous for beyond music. That 2007 tape with Kim Kardashian literally changed pop culture forever. So, when you line up all those clues, fans online are like, there's no way this blind item is about anyone else. The details match up too perfectly. And it doesn't stop there. People started digging into the history between Beyoncé and Brandy, and guess what they found? Tension. Old tension that's been simmering for years. Ray J himself, Brandy's brother, has gone on record in the past claiming that Beyoncé straight up refused to speak to Brandy during a tour they were both on. Like, Beyoncé allegedly wouldn't even acknowledge her. That's cold. And now, looking back, people are wondering, was there a reason for that coldness? Was Beyoncé already sensing something was off? Then you got the fact that Brandy and Beyoncé were never really seen publicly together. No photos, no collaborations, no public friendship. For two Black women who dominated the same era of music, that always felt weird. Fans noticed. And now they're connecting the dots. Now let's talk about the motive here, because this is where everything starts making sense. Why would Jay-Z allegedly do this? Why would he risk everything with Beyoncé, the woman who's been by his side, built an empire with him, had 3 kids with him, for Brandy? Think about the timeline. Brandy was massive in the late 90s and early 2000s. We're talking about The Boy Is Mine, Moesha, movie roles, the whole package. She was America's sweetheart. Beautiful, talented, successful. And Jay-Z? He was on the rise at the same time, building Rockefeller, dropping classic albums. So it's not crazy to think their paths crossed during that era. Industry parties, award shows, studio sessions. The music industry is a small world, especially at that level. And we know Jay-Z has a history. He's admitted it himself. But here's the thing that makes people believe this rumor even more: the pattern. Jay-Z's infidelity wasn't just one mistake. Beyoncé's Lemonade painted a picture of repeated betrayal. He only want me when I'm not there. He better call Becky with the good hair. That line shook the entire world because it confirmed what people suspected. Jay wasn't just unfaithful once, it was ongoing, multiple women. So, if he was allegedly involved with multiple women over the years, why wouldn't Brandy be one of them? She fits the profile. Famous, beautiful, in the same circles. And according to these allegations, Beyoncé didn't find out until recently. That timeline is crucial, because if Beyoncé just found out, that means this allegedly went on for years without her knowing. Imagine that betrayal. You think you've worked through your husband's cheating, you put it in your art, you forgive him publicly, you move forward. And then you find out there was another woman, someone you've known, someone in the industry. That kind of revelation doesn't just hurt, it destroys trust completely. And according to the rumors, that's exactly what happened. Beyoncé allegedly discovered the truth about Jay-Z and Brandy, and everything fell apart. But hold on, because we're not even done yet. There's a whole other layer to this story that people are talking about, and honestly, it's just as explosive. While all these allegations about Jay-Z and Brandy are swirling, there's another blind item claim that's making rounds. Beyoncé is allegedly having an affair with her bodyguard, Julius. And not just an affair, people are saying she's living with him. Living with him. Like, not just seeing him on the side, not just a fling, allegedly full-on moved in together. That's a whole different level. Now, let's talk about who Julius is, because this man has been part of Beyoncé's inner circle for years. He's been her personal bodyguard for a long time. He's in the background of photos, he's traveled with her on tour, he's been seen with the family. This isn't some random person. This is someone who's had access. Someone who's been close to Beyoncé during some of the most difficult moments of her life. And when you think about it from that perspective, it almost makes sense, doesn't it? If Beyoncé found out about Jay-Z's alleged betrayal with Brandy, if she realized her husband had been lying to her for years, who would she turn to? Someone who's been there, someone who's protected her, someone who's seen her at her most vulnerable. Julius was there during the elevator incident with Solange. He was there during the Formation World Tour. He was there through all the Lemonade era drama. He's literally been by her side while her marriage was allegedly crumbling. So if these rumors are true, it's not hard to see how feelings could develop. But here's where it gets really messy. If Beyoncé is allegedly with Julius now, is this a response to Jay-Z's betrayal? Is this her way of moving on? Or, and this is what some people online are theorizing, was there overlap? Did something start with Julius before she found out about Brandy, or after? The timeline is murky, and that's what has everyone speculating like crazy. And think about the implications here. If Beyoncé really left Jay-Z and is living with her bodyguard, that means the Carters, the most powerful couple in music, are done, finished, over. The family we've seen in vacation photos, the twins, Blue Ivy, all those carefully curated images of marital bliss, allegedly all a facade. That's the part that's breaking people's brains right now, because we've watched Beyoncé and Jay-Z for over 20 years. We've seen them grow together, we've rooted for them, we believed in them. And if these allegations are true, it means everything we thought we knew was a lie. Now here's where the timing of all this gets wild, because while all these allegations are flying around about Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Brandy, guess what Brandy is doing right now? She's on tour with Monica, the Boy Is Mine tour. And people are paying very close attention to how Brandy is acting on this tour. Every interview, every backstage clip, every social media post. Fans are analyzing everything, looking for clues. Recently, Brandy and Monica did an interview where they talked about their experience on tour so far. And honestly, Brandy seemed off. Not in an obvious way, but people who followed her for years noticed something in her energy. She seemed guarded, careful with her words, almost like she was holding something back. In the clip, Brandy talks about meeting Monica in an elevator and feeling starstruck, which is sweet and all, but fans online were like, why does she seem so nervous? Why is she over-explaining everything? Monica talked about how she prays over both of them before every show, how they're building a real sisterhood, how the fans have been amazing, all positive stuff. But Brandy's responses felt measured, like she was being extra careful not to say the wrong thing. And now, knowing about these rumors with Beyoncé and Jay-Z, people are going back and re-watching that interview with fresh eyes. They're wondering, is Brandy stressed because of the tour? Or is she stressed because she knows these allegations are about to blow up publicly? Because here's the thing. Blind items circulate in celebrity circles before they hit the mainstream. People in the industry know what's being whispered about, so it's entirely possible that Brandy was already aware these rumors were spreading when she did that interview. And then there's the fact that Brandy revealed something pretty significant during the tour. She has temporary paralysis in her right vocal cord. She said she found out about it just 2 weeks before the tour started, but she decided to perform anyway. Now, on the surface, that's incredibly brave and professional. Brandy is a true performer, and she's pushing through a serious health issue to give her fans a great show. Respect to her for that. But some people online are wondering, is the vocal cord issue real? Or is it a convenient excuse in case she needs to step back from the public eye? Again, I'm not saying it's fake. I'm saying that's what some people are speculating, because the timing is suspicious. Right when these allegations about her and Jay-Z start gaining traction, suddenly she has a medical condition that affects her ability to perform and could potentially give her a reason to cancel appearances or avoid interviews. Again, that could be completely coincidental. Health issues happen. But in the world of celebrity drama, people don't believe in coincidences. They believe in strategies, damage control, image management. Let's go even deeper into the history here, because the alleged tension between Beyoncé and Brandy goes back further than most people realize. And when you start pulling on that thread, some interesting things start unraveling. Back in the day, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s, Beyoncé and Brandy were in similar lanes. Both were young, black, talented women dominating R&B and pop. Destiny's Child was blowing up. Brandy was a solo star with her own sitcom. They should have been peers, maybe even friends, but they weren't. And people in the industry noticed. There are old interviews where other artists were asked about the R&B queens of that era, and whenever Beyoncé and Brandy were mentioned in the same breath, there was this awkwardness. Other artists would dance around the question. Nobody wanted to say it directly, but the vibe was clear. These two were not cool with each other. Then you have the fact that they've literally never collaborated. Think about that. Beyoncé has worked with almost every major R&B artist of her generation. Mary J. Blige, Alicia Keys, Missy Elliott, even Monica, but never Brandy. In over 25 years in the industry, Beyoncé and Brandy have never been on a song together, never performed together at an awards show, never been photographed hanging out. That's not an accident. That's intentional distance. And then we have Ray J's claims. Brandy's brother has said multiple times in interviews that Beyoncé refused to speak to Brandy. He's been very specific about it. He said there was a tour where both Destiny's Child and Brandy were performing, and Beyoncé wouldn't even make eye contact with her. Now, at the time, people just thought it was typical industry cattiness, female artists beefing over dumb stuff, chart positions, attention, whatever. But now people are wondering if there was a deeper reason for Beyoncé's coldness toward Brandy. What if Beyoncé suspected something even back then? What if she had a gut feeling about Brandy and Jay-Z, but didn't have proof? What if that's why she kept her distance? Beyoncé is known for being strategic. She doesn't make moves without thinking them through. So if she made the deliberate choice to avoid Brandy for literal decades, there had to be a reason. And according to these new allegations, we now know what that reason might have been. Let's talk about the emotional side of this for a second, because regardless of whether these allegations are true or not, we need to think about what Beyoncé has been through. And honestly, it's heartbreaking. This is a woman who's given everything to her marriage. She's one of the biggest stars in the world. She could have left Jay-Z 100 times and been fine. She has her own money, her own career, her own empire. She doesn't need him financially. She doesn't need him for fame. She stayed because she loved him, because she believed in their family, because she wanted to make it work. And after the first round of infidelity, she did make it work. Lemonade was her processing that pain publicly. 444 was Jay-Z's apology. They went to therapy. They renewed their vows. They had twins. They showed the world that they were stronger than their mistakes. But imagine, just imagine, that after all of that effort, after all that forgiveness, after all that healing, you find out there was someone else the whole time. Someone your husband allegedly never even admitted to, someone you've been avoiding in the industry for years and your instincts were right? That's not just betrayal. That's soul-crushing. That's the kind of thing that makes you question your entire reality. Because if he lied about this, what else has he lied about? How many other women were there? How long has this been going on? And then you think about the kids. Blue Ivy is 12 years old now. The twins are 7. These are children who've grown up with cameras on them constantly, watching their parents' every move analyzed by millions of people. If their parents split up, it's not a private family matter. It's global news. It's headlines. It's memes. It's trauma on a public stage. Beyoncé has worked so hard to protect her family's privacy. She controls her narrative. She rarely does interviews. She doesn't let paparazzi near her kids. She's built walls around her personal life specifically to avoid this kind of public scrutiny. But if these allegations are true, those walls are about to come crashing down, and there's nothing she can do to stop it. That's the part that hits different for me. Because Beyoncé isn't just some celebrity going through a divorce. She's a woman who tried to save her marriage, who forgave her husband publicly, who put her pain into art and turned it into something beautiful, only to allegedly discover that it was all for nothing. And if she really has moved on with Julius, her bodyguard, you can't even blame her. After everything Jay-Z allegedly put her through, she deserves to find happiness with someone who actually values her, someone who's been there for her, someone who sees her as more than just Queen Bee. She deserves to be seen as Beyoncé Knowles Carter, a human being, a woman who's been hurt, a mother trying to protect her children, A person who's tired of pretending everything is perfect when it's not. Now let's flip this and talk about Brandy's side, because she's caught in the middle of this mess too, and her career is about to be affected in a major way if these allegations gain more traction. Brandy's career has had its ups and downs. She was huge in the 90s and early 2000s, like legitimate superstar status. But over the years, she's faced challenges. Legal issues, personal struggles, vocal health problems like the paralysis she's dealing with right now. And while she's still respected in the industry, she's not at the level she once was. So when this tour with Monica was announced, it felt like a comeback moment for her. The Boy Is Mine tour was supposed to be a celebration, a nostalgia trip, a chance for Brandy and Monica to show they can still deliver after all these years. But now this tour is happening in the middle of these explosive allegations, and people are watching Brandy's every move. Every interview she does, fans are analyzing her body language. Every social media post, people are reading into the captions. Every performance, they're watching to see if she seems nervous or distracted. The scrutiny is intense. And here's the thing. Whether these allegations are true or not, the damage to Brandy's reputation is already starting. Because once rumors like this start spreading, they don't go away. Even if Brandy denies it, even if there's no proof, people will always wonder. They'll always associate her name with the scandal. That's not fair, but that's how it works in the court of public opinion. Now, let's say, hypothetically, these allegations are true. Let's say Brandy did have something with Jay-Z years ago. What was her motive? Was it opportunism? Was it genuine feelings? Was it a mistake she regrets? Jay-Z was powerful, still is. He's someone who can make or break careers in the music industry. So if something did happen between them, was there a power dynamic at play? Was Brandy in a position where she felt she couldn't say no? Or was she a willing participant? These are uncomfortable questions, but they're questions people are asking. And if Brandy was involved with Jay-Z while he was with Beyoncé, that makes her complicit in the betrayal. It makes her someone who knowingly hurt another woman. And in the age of feminism and women supporting women, that's a terrible look. But on the flip side, if these allegations are false, if this is all just internet speculation and blind item gossip with no basis in reality, then Brandy is having her name dragged through the mud for no reason. She's being accused of something she didn't do, and there's no way to fully clear her name once the rumor is out there. That's gotta be terrifying. To be on tour, trying to focus on your performances and your health, while the entire internet is calling you a homewrecker and dissecting your past. And maybe that's why Brandy seemed so guarded in that interview with Monica. Maybe she knows these rumors are out there. Maybe she's trying to stay professional and not let it affect the tour, but inside she's stressed and scared about what's coming. The vocal cord paralysis could be completely unrelated, or it could be stress-induced. Stress can absolutely affect your physical health, especially your voice. If Brandy is dealing with the weight of these allegations, it's not surprising that her body is showing signs of strain. Let's talk about Monica for a second, because she's in an interesting position in all of this. She's on tour with Brandy right now, spending every day with her, and she's got to be aware that something is going on. In the interview they did together, Monica seemed like she was trying to keep things positive and uplifting. She talked about praying over Brandy, about building their sisterhood, about how much they respect each other, all the right things to say. But here's what people online are noticing. Monica was doing a lot of the talking. She was steering the conversation, keeping things on track, making sure the vibe stayed light. And Brandy was letting her. That could just be their natural dynamic. Monica's always been more outspoken and Brandy's more reserved. But it also could be a protective thing. Like, Monica knows Brandy is going through something and she's trying to shield her from having to answer difficult questions. Because think about it. If these allegations about Brandy and Jay-Z start getting asked about in interviews, that's going to be awkward. Reporters are going to try to get a soundbite. Fans are going to be yelling questions during meet and greets. It's going to become impossible to avoid. And Monica, as Brandy's tour partner, is going to get dragged into it too. Reporters are going to ask her, have you talked to Brandy about the rumors? Do you believe them? What's your relationship with Beyoncé? That's not fair to Monica. She signed up to do a nostalgia tour and celebrate The Boy Is Mine, not to be a celebrity therapist or media spokesperson for someone else's scandal. But at the same time, Monica and Brandy have a complicated history of their own. They had real beef back in the day. They've publicly talked about not getting along, about competition, about tension. They've only recently reconciled and built this friendship. So if Monica finds out that these allegations against Brandy are true, if she learns that Brandy was allegedly involved with Jay-Z behind Beyoncé's back, how is that going to affect their dynamic? Is Monica going to feel betrayed? Is she going to distance herself, or is she going to stand by Brandy? Those are real questions that could impact the rest of this tour. And from a business perspective, this scandal could actually help the tour in a twisted way. Controversy sells tickets. People who weren't planning to go might suddenly want to see Brandy in person, to analyze her energy, to see if she addresses the rumors. The tour dates that weren't sold out might suddenly sell out because of the drama. That's the dark side of the entertainment industry. Sometimes the worst moments of your life become your biggest publicity. And Brandy might end up benefiting financially from allegations that are destroying her reputation. But is that really a benefit? Is money worth being known as the woman who allegedly had an affair with Jay-Z? Is tour success worth being called a homewrecker by millions of people online? I don't think so. But that might be the reality Brandy is facing right now. All right, so let's talk about what's happening online right now, because the internet detectives are in full force on this one. People are digging through old photos, old interviews, old social media posts, trying to find any evidence that supports or disproves these allegations. On Twitter, there are entire threads dedicated to analyzing the timeline. People are pulling up photos of Jay-Z and Brandy at the same events and zooming in to see if they're looking at each other. They're comparing Instagram captions from years ago looking for hidden meanings. They're going through Ray J's old interviews to see if he ever hinted at something between his sister and Jay-Z. And some of the stuff they're finding is interesting. For example, someone found an old interview from like 2003 where Brandy was asked about Jay-Z and she got kind of flustered. She stumbled over her words, laughed nervously, and then changed the subject real quick. At the time, nobody thought anything of it. But now, people are watching that clip like, yo, that reaction was weird. Why did she get so uncomfortable? Then there's the fact that Brandy and Jay-Z were both signed to Atlantic Records at one point. They were literally under the same label. That means they were at the same label parties, the same studio sessions, the same industry events. The proximity was there. The opportunity was there. And fans are also bringing up the fact that Jay-Z has always had a type. If you look at the women he's been linked to over the years, there's a pattern. Light-skinned or brown-skinned, successful, beautiful, talented. Brandy fits that profile exactly. People are also analyzing the lyrics from Jay-Z's songs, looking for references that might be about Brandy. And honestly, some of them are reaching. Like, they're pulling lines from the Blueprint era and being like, this has to be about her, when it could literally be about anyone. But there are a couple of lyrics that people think are too specific to ignore. Lines about an unnamed woman in the industry, someone he had to keep secret, someone he thought about even when he was with someone else. Now, are those lyrics about Brandy? Who knows? Jay-Z is deliberately vague in his music. He doesn't name names unless he's dissing someone. So trying to connect his bars to specific women is mostly guesswork. But then people started analyzing Beyoncé's lyrics too. Songs from the Lemonade era, songs from Renaissance, even older tracks from the B-Day album. And there are some lines that, in hindsight, hit different. Like, there's a line on Lemonade where Beyoncé sings about pretty face, perfect body, and how she gave her husband everything, but he still wanted someone else. Fans are now wondering, was that someone Brandy? There's another line where Beyoncé talks about her husband lying straight to her face and how she smelled her on him. People are going crazy trying to figure out who her is. We all assumed it was Becky, but what if it was Brandy? And the reanalysis of Beyoncé's entire discography is wild right now. People are literally going back to Destiny's Child songs and being like, wait, was this about Brandy? It's gotten to the point where fans are seeing clues in places where there probably aren't any. And look, that's the nature of internet investigations. Some of it is solid detective work, but a lot of it is confirmation bias. People seeing what they want to see because it fits the narrative they've already decided is true. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about what this situation means for the industry as a whole, because this goes way beyond just three people and their personal drama. This is about power, image, control, and the cost of celebrity. Beyoncé and Jay-Z aren't just a couple, they're a brand. They're a billion-dollar empire. They have business deals, partnerships, investments, a shared legacy. If their marriage falls apart publicly, the financial implications alone are massive. Who gets what? How do they split their assets? What happens to their joint ventures? What about the tours they have planned? The music they've made together? And then there's the cultural impact. Beyoncé and Jay-Z have been held up as the ultimate Black power couple for 2 decades. They've been symbols of success, resilience, and Black excellence. If they split, it's not just a personal loss, it's a cultural moment. And the way the internet is dissecting this situation right now shows how differently we treat celebrity relationships in 2025 compared to even 10 years ago. Everything is scrutinized. Every blind item is investigated. Every rumor spreads at lightning speed. Celebrities used to be able to control their narratives through publicists and carefully managed media appearances. But now, with social media, with blind item accounts, with fans who have too much time and too much internet access, there's no controlling the narrative anymore. This situation with Brandy, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z is a perfect example. A blind item drops. Within hours, it's trending on Twitter. Within days, there are YouTube videos, TikToks, think pieces, conspiracy threads. Millions of people are discussing it, analyzing it, forming opinions. And none of the people involved have said a single word. That's the new reality of fame. You don't have to confirm or deny anything for it to become your truth in the public eye. And this is a warning to everyone in the industry. If you have secrets, they're gonna come out eventually. If you've done something messy, it's gonna surface. The internet doesn't forget. The internet doesn't forgive. And the internet definitely doesn't stay quiet. For Brandy specifically, this could be career-defining in the worst way. Even if she's completely innocent, even if these allegations are 100% false, her name is now permanently linked to the scandal. When people Google her, this is going to come up. When she tries to book new opportunities, people are going to ask about it. That's the cost of being adjacent to celebrity drama. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, the association alone can ruin you. And for Beyoncé, this is yet another moment where her personal pain is being consumed as entertainment by millions of people. She's already given us lemonade, she's already been vulnerable, she's already shared her trauma through her art. How many times does one woman have to relive her heartbreak for public consumption? At some point, we have to ask ourselves as a society, are we supporting these artists? Or are we feeding off their pain? All right, so let's bring this all back together because there's a lot of moving pieces in this story, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page about what we know versus what's speculation. Here's what we know for sure. 1. A blind item surfaced claiming a one-named A-list singer discovered her husband was cheating with another one-named artist who has a brother in the adult film industry. The clues heavily point to Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Brandy, and Ray J. 2, there have been long-standing rumors that Beyoncé and Brandy don't get along and have avoided each other in the industry for years. Ray J has publicly claimed Beyoncé refused to speak to Brandy. 3, there are additional allegations that Beyoncé is now allegedly living with her bodyguard, Julius, suggesting she may have left her marriage. 4, Brandy is currently on tour with Monica, and she recently revealed she's dealing with temporary vocal cord paralysis. Now, here's what we don't know. We don't know if the blind item is actually about them, or if it's just coincidental clues that happen to match. We don't know if Jay-Z actually had an affair with Brandy, or if this is completely made up. We don't know if Beyoncé has actually left Jay-Z, or if she's really with Julius. We don't know Brandy's side of the story because she hasn't addressed any of this publicly. And that's the frustrating part, right? We're all out here speculating and analyzing and forming opinions based on rumors and blind items and circumstantial evidence. But until someone actually speaks on it, we're just guessing. But here's why this story has so much traction. The pieces fit. The timeline makes sense. The history of tension between Beyoncé and Brandy makes sense. Jay-Z's past infidelity makes sense. Beyoncé potentially finding comfort with someone who's been there for her makes sense. It's not proof, but it's plausible. And sometimes plausibility is all it takes for a rumor to become accepted as truth in the public consciousness. What's wild to me is how the situation, if true, has been allegedly hidden for years. Think about how many people would have had to know and keep quiet. Industry insiders, mutual friends, staff members. That's a lot of people keeping a massive secret. But then again, we've seen it before. Scandals that everyone in Hollywood supposedly knew about, but didn't become public until years later. So it's not impossible. The question is, will anyone involved actually address this publicly? Or will they just let the rumors swirl and hope it dies down eventually? Historically, Beyoncé doesn't address rumors directly. She lets her music speak for her. So if this is real, we probably won't get confirmation until her next album. And even then, it'll be coated in metaphors and artistic expression. Jay-Z might address it in his music too, but he's also been quieter in recent years. He's not dropping albums as frequently, and when he does, he's more focused on business and legacy than personal drama. And Brandy? She's in the toughest position, because addressing it makes it seem true, but ignoring it lets the rumors grow unchecked. There's no good option when you're caught in a scandal like this. Every choice has consequences. Yo, this story is unfolding as we speak, and you already know I'm going to be all over every single update that drops. This is too big to ignore. The internet is going absolutely insane trying to piece this together, and honestly, I don't think we've seen the end of this yet. More details are going to surface, more blind items might drop, someone might slip up in an interview, paparazzi might catch Beyoncé with Julius, Jay-Z might address it in a song, Brandy might be forced to make a statement. We're at the beginning of this saga, not the end. So here's what I need from y'all. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you think these allegations are true? Do you believe Brandy and Jay-Z had something going on? Do you think Beyoncé really left him for her bodyguard? Or is this all just internet conspiracy nonsense? And here's another question. Even if it's not true, do you think the rumors alone will damage Brandy's career? Because perception is everything in this industry, and once your name is attached to drama like this, it's hard to shake. Make sure you smash that like button if you found this breakdown valuable, because we went deep today. We covered every angle, every theory, every piece of evidence. This is the most comprehensive breakdown of this situation you're gonna find anywhere. Hit subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single update, because I'm telling you, this story is about to explode even more. When official statements drop, when new information surfaces, when someone finally addresses this publicly, you're gonna want to be here for it. And look, at the end of the day, these are real people with real lives and real emotions. Whether these allegations are true or false, there are human beings at the center of this mess, dealing with pain, betrayal, and public scrutiny on a level most of us can't even imagine. So while we're out here analyzing and speculating, let's remember to have some compassion. Because celebrity or not, heartbreak is heartbreak, betrayal is betrayal, and nobody deserves to have their worst moments turned into entertainment without any consideration for their humanity. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me through this deep dive. This was a heavy one, but it needed to be covered. Stay safe out there, protect your energy, and remember, not everything you see online is true, but sometimes the truth is hiding in plain sight. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.